Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Surefire Method titled Meat Force Machine. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and we're going to listen through it from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. I should also note before we get into this that I have reviewed their previous track Jackpot, so I'm looking forward to hearing more from Surefire Method, but let's go, let's do it. Guitar solo. That was so quick. That was so quick. It was just so quick. There was absolutely no filler in there. That was a good time. I enjoyed my time with it. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion, my review of this track from an act named Surefire Method titled Meat Force Machine. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think it's about sort of talking about human beings as if we are just kind of meat robots made of skeletons, and you have the imagery of people kind of like skeletons holding hands with the lady and then the babies and then the sperm and everything like that. So I'm wondering if we're just discussing like the idea of just procreating and existing and then just constantly sort of like doing that cycle over and over again. We talked about blindness at one point, so I'm wondering if we're discussing the fact that maybe we don't entirely see reality for what it is, and we are sort of just really blind to certain things primarily because of the way we're programmed. We're just meat force machines. We're force, you just meat, we're machines. I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's quite deep, but it's done in a way where it's catchy and anthemic. I like the vocal style and the chorus, as well as in the verse parts. We go between our head and chest voices there in different pitches, but we still maintain a great sense of presence within the mix. And the chants outside of the main vocals, meat force machines like that, they sound cool, and they're a bit of fun over top of the guitar, bass, and drum parts there. And ultimately, I feel like the way we sung makes sense for the style of music we're doing there. It's not taking itself too seriously, but it's still also trying to get a message across at the same time. I think it fits a nice equilibrium there. The melodies that we chose for the chorus and the verse parts make sense. We sort of differentiated. And within a short form factor track like this, at like 2 minutes, I feel like it was a great use of time. Like absolutely no complaints whatsoever about how things were handled within this piece. I mean, it primarily consists of guitars, bass, and drums. You have a completely just a heavy as hell bass line there. It's such a thick tone to it. It just slams in the mix there. Such huge amount of body to it, and it really does drive the song forward. The guitars are niched on top of that on the sides, and I did, like I do like the way that the guitars sound, and as rhythmically they're great in that mid range there, because I don't really have anything else that oscillates in that part on the sides. But I feel like, again, the guitar, the power chord bits we have stacked nicely on top of the bass. The solo section was like a lot of interesting bend and sort of like shreddy kind of almost bluesy rocky techniques here that had a great tone to them and were an interesting foil. It's sort of like an explosion of like a release of some kind. It was really cool, and I think that it wasn't meant to be a super melodic solo, more of kind of like it's meant to sort of hit you solo rather than being super sophisticated. But I think that the track itself isn't trying to be too overcomplicated. It's very approachable with the riffs on the guitar and bass, and I think that the lead parts were a nice foil there, performing a clearly different function than the singers, which I thought was just smart. The drums were really well handled. I think that we had some great grooves across the kicks, the kick, snare, and cymbals. And we didn't play all the time. We would allow some instruments to take precedent, and then we'd fill in the gaps. And that second half there, we were more consistent in other patterns there in a way where it made sense there. We had a great sense of groove, and for the most part, the tempo was pretty tight, but I also don't think we were trying to be too stoic with keeping to like a set kind of tempo. It was a little bit of variation to it, but in a way which was healthy, and I think it made it seem like it was more of a live performance, which I really appreciate. It sounded like they were actually playing together in the room and feeling off each other, and I think that was great. The force of the power chords combined with the vocal styles, combined with the power of the bass and the drums as well, with a variety of different percussive fills and beats there, working within those quarters, eighths, and sixteenths, makes me feel like the speed of it, there's a sense of intensity and urgency that we're trying to communicate to the listener, that we are those Meat Force machines there. It's done the way where, again, it's meant to be catchy and approachable. It's still also kind of heavy sounding. It's still got a bit of kick to it, and the toasty nature of those distorted guitars combined with the shreddy solo and the power chords that we had there and the rhythm parts gave it a big amount of oomph, as well as like the taking turns within those intro sections and stuff between the bass that had was more than enough by itself and the other elements. I think ultimately it's a theme where it sounds sort of defiant, almost like we need to accept and be proud of the fact that we're Meat Force machines. Like we're calling out and reminding the listener that is the case, although I feel like there could be another angle that I probably get if I had another listen through. But the studio recording, mixing, and mastering was done really, really well. Really happy with what I heard. No complaints about the way things were leveled in the mix. I think that the guitar, bass, drums, and vocals were niched nicely in the frequency spectrum and the stereo field. There was dynamic range to this. Things weren't the same loudness the whole time. It was nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting was handled effectively. It's just another really solid track from Surefire Method, titled Meat Force Machine. And hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.